Welcome back to the beginning prior to my awakening. I'm your host, Mental Stimulant, the Divine Empress. Sit back, relax, and listen to my voice. This is Installment 12. At this time, this was a season where adulthood really began for me. The season when I would experience the good, the bad, and the ugly of what it was really like to be an adult. Fresh off the porch and into my own spot. This was the first of many firsts for me. A time that should have really been beautiful, but it wasn't. My mom had threw me in a blender where I was forced to choose between she and my man. What an awful position to be put in. But I had to stand behind my decision if I would be viewed as an adult. I had to back my own play. I couldn't allow my mom to walk and talk for me, especially when she had her own decisions, and I disagreed with her own decisions for her life. Besides, I had left her house. I now had my own home with the man that I thought I'd be moving towards marriage with. I wish she would have told me then, baby, I just need free room and board. Nothing sacred will come out of this. I was deceived, but it was my own willingness to trust a man. I was loyal from the very beginning. I had no idea that he was a wolf in sheep's clothing. He sat there and witnessed me cry at the loss of my mom. Most would say, you chose a man over your mom. No, not at all. I chose a chance at love over the control and need for dominance of a parent. Even before this moment, I provided for myself. My mom provided very little for me. I was paying her rent the moment I started to work. So, moving into my own place was a given. Over the first several years, there was a series of ups and downs in my home. I didn't know that it would be this hard, even though my man promised I would need no one. I suffered. He told me what sounded good, but I believed him from a place of trust. I was taught to trust and take a person on their word. I wish my mom would have just effectively talked to me instead of the do as I say and not as I do. So you see, I trusted people easily. A person in the trenches with a pure heart, surrounded by the wicked, broken, and dysfunctional. I had no idea the hell on earth I would live, or that all those perfect picket fence fantasies would be wiped clean out of my head. But I had my man laying next to me every night. Okay, that's a lie. Because whenever he felt he didn't want to leave his baby moms or whatever other chick he was shacked up with, he just didn't come home. He didn't give a flying you know what that I thought we was a team, or the fact that I stood up to my mom on his behalf. I claimed him, but yeah, he didn't claim me. I was just another chick that felt the need for him. But I seen him as my beginning and my end. Right out the gate, I was being emotionally abused. I found myself to be trying to carry the relationship and the health of the home on my back. Yes, my man earned the living, but his money was for he and his women. He pursued. I was left to suffer. After a while, I was drained and hated the view I seen in the mirror. I couldn't receive direction from my mom. I was isolated. Not long after the emotional abuse, the physical abuse started. And I really didn't understand. I took care of us. Why did he hate me? I thought he loved me. This is when psychologically I began to make excuses for him. He didn't even really love me enough to try and make it look good. I would put him out, but then he would come with the manipulation of him so called loving me. Nope, he didn't love me. He loved access to living rent free. Looking around at my community, this is very common. Men refusing to take their places as heads of households, allowing the fragile, sacred women to carry dual positions, several different hats, abuse that catapulted from the norm. It's much worse than one would think. I can't say it's the men's fault. The devil has attacked us all, giving our men traumas that is not easy for them to discuss. Our boys are taught young, shut up that noise, don't be no punk. Being taught that it is a rite of passage by being a player, a male whore, that it is somehow cool to not have respect for yourself as a man. For there to be moms that don't hug their boys because they don't want them to be soft, and dad doesn't want him to be a mama's boy, if he was even present at all, which presented the world with a grown, unemotional child. A man that does not know how to properly love his woman, value the blessing of his kids. But it happens to little girls as well, just in different ways. Mom is unable to teach her daughter how to value and love herself. Because as Tupac said, mom is just a little girl herself and she looking for love. Leaving her daughter at risk by so-called wicked boyfriends whom see nothing wrong with viewing a child as a sexual object. They don't even see a child. The incubus demon attached to them wishes to defile her and steal her innocence. Mom is supposed to be the first line of defense, but for so many reasons, she's inadequate. I believe unhealed, spiritually inadequate individuals shouldn't be able to produce because obviously we're unable to make sound decisions of at least using contraception. Mm. And I'm not judging. I'm human. I have also went without contraceptive. But I will be transparent. This is part of the problem. Being irresponsible in a moment can welcome a lifetime of trauma for an innocent child that had no choice in the matter. Look around. It's the children whom right now suffer the most, experiencing things that children should not. Where are the parents meant to protect them? To protect the young women from their sugar daddies? Where are the fathers? Why are the mothers not teaching their sons even if a man is not present? Open the door for women. Stand and let a woman sit. No cursing in front of the elderly. Show some respect. What has happened? That it's now said to be lame to have integrity, self respect, or for your word to mean something. What has happened? I ask you to take this question and hold it up to your life and ask yourself, what has happened? What corrections need to be made? Go into your children's room at night, kneel with them, and teach them to pray. It's important that they form their own relationship with the Most High. Whether you were taught certain things, it's not an excuse because you are now a parent, and that should be your number one goal of showing your child things that you weren't shown. It's your responsibility, not anybody else's, not the police, not the community. It's your responsibility to be a parent and bring that child up right, regardless of what the circumstances were that brought this child here. It is your responsibility. We must not keep pushing the blame on everybody else on a conscious decision that we made. We have to be accountable for ourselves. Let's not continue to let the world view us as inadequate. And I'm not speaking to anyone specifically. I'm just saying if it feels like the shoe fits, you know I'm talking to you. No more excuses. Because if anything, we know the difference between right and wrong. So we should be accountable for ourselves and accountable for these children that we decide to bring into this world. Be accountable. Have good faith. Put prayer at the front. We can make things better if we at least try. So, as I close this out, I say to you, if you feel like you want to talk, to vent, or to reach a different perspective, please reach out. Information is found in the About section of the YouTube page. Mental Stimulant, the Divine Empress. Love, peace, and light. Be blessed.